Hey, my name's Izzy. This is Roll Virtual Cards coming at you with another MTG video. This time going over the black cards from Modern Horizon 3. A Cursed Marauder is 1 in black for a 2/1 zombie warrior. When a Cursed Marauder enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a non-token creature. Okay? This is just a buffed version of those other cards, okay? This is a 2-drop instead of a 3-drop, and it forces them to sacrifice a non-token creature. Really good card. Pauper's going to love this, and I think you'll see play in some modern decks, and especially Commander, because it's just a great removal spell. And you can just sack it to its effect, so love it. Arcbound Condor is 2 and 2 black for a 0/0 artifact creature bird with flying and module 3, which means it enters the battlefield either with 3/1/1 counters or you can make 3/1/1s. Sorry, no, that was a different one. I forget. Module 3 means it enters the battlefield with 3/1/1 counters on it. And then if it were to die, you can move the 1/1 counters on it to target artifact creature. When another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, target creature and opponent controls get -1/-1 till end of turn. So it's good removal on a card, and then it can also help with modular. Maybe a modular deck wanted, but I don't like that it's a 4-drop. Boggart Trawler is 2 in a black for a 3/1 goblin. When it enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Not the best effect, but it's also a land that can come into the battlefield untapped if you play 3 life. So again, in those Oops All Land decks or Oops All Spells decks, allowing you to just have a way to kill someone's graveyard is good. Breathe Your Last is 1 in 2 black for an instant. Destroy a creature or planeswalker. You gain 1 life for each color, for each of its colors. Yeah, Pauper and Commander, casual. It's a good, 1 and 2 black to pop a creature and planeswalker. But at least you gain life for each of colors. So, you gain at least 1 life, maybe 2 life. Possibly 3 if you pop, a Commander. Buried Alive. Buried Alive is gross, and it's going to go up in price because it's going to see playing Commander. You search your library for 3 cards, or creature cards, and put them into graveyard, then shuffle. Look up the stuff for Modern now. It was already seeing play in Legacy and Vintage. Now look at it at Modern. It's doing the same thing. It's literally just going to right into everything, and it's gross. Gross card. I love it. I love everything about it. I think in Modern, it's really going to help certain decks just get that extra push they needed. Okay, here we go. Chthonian Nightmare. 1 in the black for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy. Pay X energy. Sacrifice a creature. Return Chthonian Nightmare to its owner's hand. Return target creature card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is supposed to be a retread of that other Nightmare card that's banned in Commander. But it hits the field 3, pay X energy, sacrifice a creature, return this to the owner's hand, and return a creature card with mana value X from your graveyard to the battlefield. So literally, you can just get whatever 3-drop you want. Or if it's 2-drop, cool. Then play Chthonian Nightmare again, get 3 more energy, and you can get something else from your graveyard. This is repeatable recursion. It's a terrifying looking card. So it's recurable recursion, which means it'll see play in every format it's legal in. Yeah, it's just a really good card in my opinion. I think in Commander you'll see it as a great way to recur 3-drops or anything. Any energy deck will love this. Any Enchantress deck that wants to recast enchantments constantly with black in it will do well. Yeah, I think Chthonian Nightmare is just a great card. Yeah, I don't know exactly if there's a breakable way with this. Yeah, there is. There is a creature that... let's see. The card is Basal Sliver. It's legal in Modern. All slivers have sacrifice this creature, add 2 black to your mana pool. And it is 2 in a black. So, yeah, it might go up in price. But when this enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy. Pay X energy, sacrifice a creature, return Chthonian Nightmare to its owner's hand, return target creature card from your mana value X from your graveyard to its battlefield, Oh, you need to get a second creature. Let me double... Okay, maybe someone smarter than me can figure out infinite in Modern. I know Priest of Gix goes infinite with this for Legacy, Vintage, Commander, and Oathbreaker. So, like, I could see this in Commander as a win con. Maybe in CDH, like, I might actually try this as, like, a win con in... maybe Orzhov decks that really need something. This is a way, because it only costs 2, so Priest of Gix gives you infinite mana by... Oh, look, it's Battlefield. Get 3... Get the 3, return Chthonian, recast it, do it again. Do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, and just win the game. So... with infinite mana, if your commander has an outlet, that's a great way. So I like that for commander, but I don't think it's going to hit anywhere else. I think it will. I just don't know what. Maybe more as a, not as a combo win, but just as like attrition. Consuming Corruption is 2 black for an instant. It deals X damage to target creature, planeswalker, and you gain X life for X the number of swamp scan. A great mono black decks. Crabomination is 4 and 2 black for a 5/5 crab demon. That's terrifying. Emerge from artifacts. 5 and 2 black. You may cast this spell by sacrificing an artifact and paying the emerge cost reduced by the artifact's mana value. So if you sack like a 2-drop artifact, it's 2. Or it'll be 3 generic and 2 black. But if you sack like your 7-drop artifact, because it had not affinity, affinity, so it costs 0. Now this is 2 black, and when it enters the battlefield, target opponent exiles the top card of their library, a card at random from their graveyard, and a card at random from their hand. You may cast spells from among the exiled this way without paying the mana cost. That's gross. This again is just another card for affinity decks. Oh, I'm just gonna sack my 4/4 for my 4/4 7-drop for this 5/5 that takes the top card of your library, a card at random from your hand, and a card at random from your graveyard, and casts them for free. That's gross. I love it. Love it. Next page. Dreadmobile. 2 and a black for a 3/3 vehicle with menace. Play a color 1 generic, sacrifice another artifact or creature, put a 1/1 counter on it. I don't like it for any format. Maybe if you really need a sack outlet in your commander deck, you could toss this in there. That's about it. Dream Drinker Vampires. 1 and a black for a 2/1 vampire with lifelink, and 1 and a black adapt 1. When 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on Dread Vampire, it gains menace until end turn. So like turn 2 comes out, it's 2/1 with lifelink, cool. Turn 3, it can become a 3/2 with lifelink and menace. I think this is going to be a Pauper deck card. If Pauper has a decent need for like an aggressive white card or black card that can also give you some lifelink or life gain, and also some like nice ish like 1/1 counter synergies, I can see that. Drawsclaw. Yeah, Drawsclaw. 1 and a black for an artifact equipment with living weapon. Again, I love living weapon. I love that it's hitting Pauper. Equipped creature gets +1/+1. When equipped creature attacks, each opponent loses life. Equip 2. So you just swing with this guy. Hits the field, turn 2, turn 3, you swing. You're swinging this 1/1 little germ. Oh, look, you lost a life. Oh, you're going to kill it? Cool. Next turn, I'm just going to equip this to my flyer. It's on my Holy Cow. My Holy Cow is now a 3/3. It's going to keep hit, or whatever that it becomes. It's going to keep hitting you, and you're going to keep losing life. I think this is great. I could see me playing this in Pauper. Just as like a 4-of. Just a way to keep damaging my opponents and then slowly buff my other creatures. Emperor of Bones is 1 and a black for a 2/2 Skeleton Noble. Not a legendary, though. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Kid graveyard hate. I like that. 1 and a black, adapt 2. Okay, cool. It can become a 4/4 before it attacks. I like that. I don't mind that. I'm not going to complain. When 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on Empire Burns, put a creature card exiled with Empire Burns into the battlefield under your control with a finale counter on it. It gains haste, sacrificed at the beginning of the instant. Okay, this is cool. So you can exile a card from either your graveyard or your opponents if they've got something. adapt it when you want the thing. It becomes a 4/4 now, your Emperor. And you get a creature back, and it has haste, and you sacrifice the next step, and it gets exiled. It doesn't. You can't grab it again because it's not exiled with Emperor Bones, right? Right. So, that's fine. But, like, yeah, I could see this being played at 4 in the proper Modern deck where, like, hey, this is my 2/2 on turn 2. Oh, combat, I'm going to exile that card. Next turn, pay 2. It's a 4/4 now that's going to hit you. And I'm going to get back this guy that ETBs, triggers, and effects, and I'm going to go after you. Mind you, it can be any creature. There's no mana problem with this. So you can get any creature back that you dumped into your graveyard with Buried Alive. So, great card, fantastic. I think this you'll see play a lot. And then, like, outside of Modern, yeah, it's a great card for Recursion. I'd probably put this in my Commander decks. I don't think it hits CD8s, but it's definitely Commander. Etched Slith is 1 in a black for a 1/1 Phyrexian Slith. Menace. Whenever enchanted Etched Slith deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on it. When you do, you remove a counter from another target permanent or opponent. There's some removal there, but I think it's too slow. Overall, I think it's just too slow. Yeah. Like, it can become a 2/2 pretty easily because of Menace on turn 3. And then, like, cool, you get to remove the counter from the Planeswalker or their 1/1 counter or something. I think it's slow. Ethereum Terramander. 1 black for a 1/1 flyer. A Salamander Drake with flying. Ethereum Terramander can block only creatures with flying. Okay. 6 in a black, adapt 4. This ability costs 1 less to cast to activate for each other artifact. Again, Affinity. This is a 1-drop black artifact commander. Or artifact card. Turn 1, you play it. What happens turn 3? You look, you have 6 artifacts. Cool, now it's a 5/5. I'm going to hit you. It's gross. It's going to see play. Eviscrator's Insight. 1 in a black for an instant. As an Istrogos casts a spell, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Draw 2 cards. Flashback for 4 in a black. This is good. Any deck that runs these effects where you sack a creature or artifact to draw 2 cards, we'll run this because it also says flashback. So later on for 5, you can just do it again if you really need to. This will see play and Pauper all over the place. Great card advantage. Oh no, I sacked this thing that I wanted to sack anyway. And any commander deck that likes them, it's $1.20 for a reason. Fel the Profane is 2 and 2 black for an instant. Destroy target creature. Planeswalker. Oh no, we've seen those for 3. But guess what? This is also a land that you can cast to untap. It's $1. Why? Oops, all lands. Just being able to pop something for 4 is fine, but otherwise it's a land. Oh, Knight of Windgrace. Cool. Fetid Gargantua is a disturbing looking card. 4 in a black for a 4/4 horror. 2 in a black adapts to. When the 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on it, you may draw 2 cards. If you do, you lose 2 life. So for 5, you get a 4/4. Then next turn, you can pay. You're at 6 mana. You pay 2 in a black. It becomes a 6/6 before it attacks. And then you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. Yeah, I can see this in Pauper. It's a good control deck, like in Dimir Control. Being able to play this card, or Orzhov Control. Playing this card turn 5, and then turn 6, being able to have a 6/6 that's going to hit them, and I get to draw 2 cards and lose 2 life for, like, interactions to make sure I hit. That's cool. Flare of Malice is 2 and 2 black for an instant. You may sacrifice a non-token black creature rather than play this spell's mana cost. Pay this spell's mana cost. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the greatest mana value among creatures and planeswalkers they control. Yeah, it's banned in Historic already because it's a free spell and they don't want that in Historic. I think it'll see play. Forcing your opponent to sacrifice the greatest creature or planeswalker, the creature planeswalker with the greatest power is pretty good. And it's each opponent, so Commander will see this. Obviously, it's a free way. Oh, I sack my little black guy, and oh, look, my black creature's gone, but you guys all lose something, and it's your best thing. I only lost my little non-token, my little 1/1 that I'm going to bring back anyway, and Modern will do the same thing. It's a free way to make them just sack their problematic card. Gravedigg is 1 in a black. For a sorcery, choose 1. Target player creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token, or return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or entwine. Okay, this is funny, because for 3 generic and a black, you get the Gravedigger. So that's what this gives you, a 2/2 zombie, and you return a creature card from your graveyard to hand. But instead, you can just pay 1 in a black and just get a 2/2 zombie, or just get a creature back to your hand. Really funny. I think you'll see this in Pauper, and that's about it. Grim Servant is 3 in a black for a 3/2 zombie warlock with menace, and when it enters the battlefield, search your library for a card with mana value less than or equal to your devotion to black, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle, you lose 3 life. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to push Black Devotion into Modern, because it's almost there. It's the only Devotion one that's almost there, just because of, what's his name? The one that drains them. Drains your opponents and you gain life. And this one's not bad. It enters the battlefield, and then you get for any card, and you get to put it in your hand, and you lose. So you're losing 3 life. But if you at least have your Devotion to black is like 3 or 4, you're going to grab whatever card you want. You put it in your hand. It's the card you need to win. Great tutor. I love having it. And a 3/2 with menace isn't bad. Kami of the Jealous Thirst is 2 in a black for a 1/3 spirit with Death Touch. 4 in a black, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. This ability costs 4 in a black less to activate. If you've drawn 3 or more cards this turn, activate only once each turn. This card's gross. I love it. And I love it in Pauper, because as long as you can draw 2 cards each of your turns, which you should be able to do in Pauper, you can just make them lose 2 life and you gain 2. And then if you can just keep drawing those 2 cards and each turn keep triggering this card, you can win the game. It's a great game of attrition and like black-white in Orzhov control. Kirk, Son of Yawgmoth, is now in Modern. Wow, gross. What will that do? How will that affect Modern? Mono Black Devotion. He not only counts for 3 of the devotions, he's a 4-drop, so turn 4 he hits the field. He has a lifelink. When you can pay black, he gives all your black spells Phyrexian. And when you cast a black spell, it gets bigger. And then guess what? You can hit with him because he has lifelink, and you can gain your life back. There's gonna be a Modern deck with this as its its push, running a bunch of black cards that draw you spells, getting him big, gaining life, and yeah, Black Devotion, guys. You can grab this guy as long as you have 7 more devotion with that one guy. Lethal Throwdown is a black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature or sacrifice a modified creature. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. If a modified creature was sacrificed, draw a card. Okay. Like, maybe if you can find a modified deck in Modern, you'll run this, but I highly doubt it. Oh, this card's so gross. Marionette Apprentice is 1 in a black for a 1/2 human artificer. Fabricate. So it either comes in with a 1/1 counter, or you get a servo. A 1/1 servo. When another creature or artifact you control is put into your graveyard on the battlefield, each opponent loses life. This is just that other card, the Grave one. But it also has Fabricate. And costs 1 more. And you already run that card in the deck. 4 of. So you just run 4 of these cards. Now you have even more ways to drain your opponent's life from just artifacts and creatures going in your graveyard. Such a good card. I love everything about it. I want to build a deck with it. Mindless Conscription is 2 in a black for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, and whenever you draw your 3rd card each turn, you amass zombies 3. So, nice zombie army. So you automatically get a 3/3. And then, oh look, I drew my 3rd card. I drew a card and then drew 2 more. Now it's a 6/6. I don't think it's a big push, but I think maybe there might be a deck that could really push this in Modern. Maybe this helps push an army-based deck. Like, hey, look, I have an army, and I'm gonna keep building that army. Like, This with what's its name? Orcish Bowmancer, who also gives you the army. This helps you do that and really pushes you into, oh yeah, let's get to that point where now my zombie that it was already like a 3/3 is now a 6/6, and I cast another one of these, and now I drew my third card and I get to mass twice. And I think maybe there could be a mass deck in Modern. I might take a look at that. I like taking a look at a lot of Modern decks. It could be. Nadar's Nightblade is 2 and a black. It's finally Modern. 1 and 3 elf. When a token you control leaves the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. We already have that bat, but I think the bat was a 4-drop. This is a 3-drop. It's also an elf. So, like, if you can get an elf deck that's making a bunch of tokens, a board wipe won't win them the game, and blocking your tokens is dangerous. Necro Dominance is 3 black for legendary enchantment. Skip your draw step. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay any amount of life. If you do, draw that many cards. Your maximum hand size is 5. If a card or token will be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. This is Necropotence, but in a legendary enchantment with a lot more restrictions. It's still going to see play in Modern. And possibly even in, like, Commander and CEDH as, like, a backup Necropotence. But Modern's going to see... Dude, you just draw a bunch of cards. Yes, 20 life is more restrictive, but, like, you can pay 10 life, just half your life, and find the stuff you need. Go down to 5 cards. Yes, you can't use your graveyard, but who cares? You're, like, literally just trying to win the game. So, plus, I think this will see play so much in so many decks, but I think black, Devotion to black decks will, because it gives you 3 black, and then you can just kind of find the cards you need. So, Nethergoyf. Okay, I don't know how I feel about this card. A lot of people, as you can see by the price, think it's good. So, 1 black for a star, 1+ star, Lurgoyf. Nethergoyf's power is equal to the number type of among cards in your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that plus number plus 1. So this is a 1-drop, and it comes out as like a 0/1. But if you can fill your graveyard up, it's a 1-drop that could be like, oh look, I fetched. So you fetched land the first turn, so it's actually a 1/2. And the next turn you cast an instant and a sorcery that are both 1-drops. So it's now a 3/2 or a 3/4. Cool. And like it's very aggressive. Like Nethergoyf is aggressive. And it has escape. So escape for 2 and a black. Exile any number of other cards from your graveyard. 4 or more card types among them. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its escape cost. So you need to weaken Nethergoyf to get its thing. So with 4 or more card types among it. So you get rid of your artifact creature and your land and your instant. And that's 4 card types. It comes back out. As long as you self-milled, that's fine. So in a self-mill deck where you just fill your graveyard up, you should be able to go artifact creature, land, and an instant or sorcery. And then boom, that's 3 cards with 4 types, and then you get him out. But then you already have other cards. You have another artifact creature and another land and another, so he still comes out big. That's why he's good. He's just more aggressive and more recurable than the original Legoyf. So, Tiragoyf? I forget his name. But it's good. I think it's great. I think it'll see play in self-mill decks. Maybe even like living in decks where like this is just another way to get something out. Ophiomancer coming to Modern. 2 and a black for a 2/2 human shaman. At the beginning of each upkeep, if you control no snakes, create a 1/1 black snake creature token with Death Touch. So, this is going to see play in most likely Yawgmoth decks. It's just another card that allows you to sacrifice the tokens with Yawgmoth. But it also is like a Death Touch snake. And I love that it's a Death Touch snake because it really allows you to just block with it also. because it's scary. Now you only get one of them, so you don't want to keep it, so you can get it again. But I think it'll see play in like Yawgmoth decks. Quest for Necropolis. 1 black for an enchantment with landfall. When land is the battlefield you control, put a quest counter on quest for the Necropolis. For the Necropolis. Okay. 5 and a black. Sacrifice quest for the Necropolis. Put target creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield you control. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each quest counter on it. Okay, for on quest for the Necropolis. Okay, so this is recursion. 1 and then 7 total return something. But like if you get this out turn 1 and you keep playing your lands, like turn 2, it's gonna cost turn 2 it costs 5. Turn 3 it costs 4. Turn 4 it costs 3. So on turn 4 you can crack this, grab whatever you need from your graveyard, and win the game that way. Because it's any creature. So I don't think this is bad. I don't think it's great. I think it's too slow to really see much play. Refurbished Familiar is 3 and a black for a 2/1 artifact creature zombie rat with affinity for artifact. This spell costs 1 less for each artifact you control, so this could just be dropped for a black. Flying, when it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, you draw a card. This is great in any affinity deck in Commander, because you do draw a lot of cards or make them all discard. But also, like, Pauper Affinity loves this. Comes down as a 2/1 with flying for free for 1 black, and then discard a card. I don't think it'll see play in Modern. I think it's a little too slow. Doesn't do enough. Retrofitted Transmigrant is 1 black for a 1/1 zombie. 3 and a black, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped with 2 1/1 counters on it. Again, I think maybe Pauper. I mean, a 1-drop artifact creature does help with affinity. And then later on, for 4, you can return it as a 3/3. That's not bad. And you can do that on your opponent's turn as well. So, like, it enters the battlefield tapped with 2 1 counters. But you can just tap it. So, like, a good recursion. I could see that. Ripples of Undeath is 1 and a black for an enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, mill 3 cards. Then you may pay a colorless or 1 generic and 3 life. If you do, put a card from among the cards in your hand. This is just card draw. I think this might see play in Commander. Like, I will see play Commander, but I maybe CDH because like each pre-combat main phase you mill 3 cards and then you add 1 to your hand. Mill 3 cards, add 1 to your hand. You just had to pay 1 mana and 3 life each rotation, which isn't bad. It's good card selection. Any mill deck will a stealth mill deck. This card will be played in there. So that's why it's seen play in Modern. It's just a great way to mill yourself for 2, even if you don't trigger that effect. Scurrilous Sanctuary is 3 and a black for a 2/3 human knight rogue with menace. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, it connives. It's slow. I don't even think you'll see play in Pauper. Shiljangar, Seer of Famine. 3 and 2 black for a 6/6 Elder Demon with flying. Sacrifice another creature, create a blood token. If you sacrifice an angel this way, create a number of blood tokens equal to its toughness instead. Hybrid, black, white, black, white, black, white. Sacrifice 6 blood tokens. Return each creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Those creatures are vampires in addition to the other types. This card's cracked. If you can recur this card in your like self-mill deck in Modern, or like your living in deck, you can just recast this card and then use its effect to sack like an angel or something. Like, there's a lot of hoops. I like this as a commander. I built it. It's really fun. It's such a unique commander. It's also the guy who gave it's also the card that gave that brought vampires to Sorin's place. Yeah, Sorin Markov. He got turned because of him, basically. But Sorin of House Markov is... How many more cards we got? We got a few. Oh, we got a few more. Lots of black cards. I think there's more black cards than the last 2. Okay. But 1 in a black for a 1/4 legend creature human noble with lifelink and extort. 1 in a black. So, or for black or white. So whenever you cast a spell, you can just extort, draining your opponent. And at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, you exile this, then return it to the battlefield, transfer under control. In Modern, the idea is you're going to have to, like, cast a spell. Play this turn 2. Turn 3, swing with it to gain a life, and then cast 2 1-drops, extorting them, but you don't have them. Or you play. Yeah, you gotta mess with it to try to get that life. There's maybe just crack a food, right? But at the beginning of your post-modern game, is you gain 3 or more life this turn, exile, then return it to the battlefield, transform under control. It has extort still, and then you for +2 you get a creative food token. -1, it deals damage equal to the amount of life you gain this turn to any target. And -6, gain control of target creature. It becomes a vampire to turn other types. Put a lifelink counter on it, and if you control a white permanent other than that creature or Sauron. Or put a life counter on it if you control a white permanent other than that creature or Sauron. The idea is, yeah, like, this is going to just be in food decks in Modern. Like, you crack a food, he transforms. That's why he's at a dinner table, for Pete's sake. Crack a food, he transforms. Now you're extorting, you're gaining life, you're making food. But being able to go, I crack like 4 foods, or crack 3 foods, right, for 6 mana, and I gain 9 life. Hey, look, lose 9 life. It's a win con for food decks that we've been needing. The creation of Avacyn is 1 and 2 black for a saga. First part is search your library for a card, exile, face down, then shuffle. Turn 2, turn the exile card face up. If it's a creature card, you lose life equal to its mana value. Part 3, you may put an exile card onto the battlefield if it's a creature card. If you don't put it on the battlefield, put it into the owner's end. So, it's interesting. It's a tutor with steps, and I think that's a little too slow. So, maybe like in a saga deck in Commander, you might have fun with it. No, because I just don't think it's good in Modern. I think it's too slow. Toxic Deluge in Modern, such a cool thing. 2 and a black for a sorcery. As an additional cost of spell, cast pay X life. All creatures get -X until end of turn. This is a way to take care of indestructible cards, which is good. And usually you just pay like 4 life and wipe the field for 3. Great 3-drop board wipe. Need some more of those in Modern. Victimize is another great card in Modern, and it will see play there. 2 and a black for a sorcery. Choose 2 target cards. Choose 2 target creature cards in your graveyard. Sacrifice a creature. If you do, return those cards to the battlefield tapped. This just gets you a combo from your graveyard. That's the entire point. And there's like you living and in the next turn Victimize and win the game. So Victimize will see play as a way to just get a combo out. Warren Soul Trader is also another great card. It's sitting at like $16 right now. 2 and a black for a 3/3 zombie goblin wizard. Pay 1 life, sacrifice another creature, create a treasure token, and that's just constantly being able to be used. So as long as you can get a creature back over and over again, you just keep sacrificing and keep getting treasures. So there are broken ways. People have already mentioned the fact that if you have a zombie out, you can win with the one guy and just you're paying life, but if as long as you can kill your opponents faster. Right? I think it'll see play in like any format it can. Wither and Bloom is 1 in a black for an instant. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end turn. 1 in a black, exile Wither and Bloom from your graveyard. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature control. Activate only as a sorcery. I think this will see play in Modern. In Pauper. It's a good removal spell at instant speed. Takes care of anything, even if it's indestructible. And then being able to put a 1/1 counter later onto a creature you control is good. It's just like a nice little upside. Wormcoil Larva is funny. This is a 3 and 2 black for a 3/3 artifact creature Phyrexian worm with Death Touch and Lifelink. So it's a 3/3 instead of a 6/6, but it's still 5 mana instead of 6. I don't get it, but when it dies, you get a 1/2 black Phyrexian worm creature token with Death Touch and a 2/1 black Phyrexian worm creature token with Lifelink. I think it's bad. I don't think you'll see this played anywhere other than as like a joke. Here we get to red, and on red I'll explain my favorite card from the set. But back to black. Let me know what your favorite card from the black card out of all the black cards is. Let me know which one you think might see the most play, in in whichever formats. Down in the doobly-doo, there, the comment section and stuff. Other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great day. Peace.